Hello everybody, welcome to Kimbolton in Cambridgeshire for event 5 of this year's British Kart Championships. It's the third round for the Rotax categories and for KZ2. Myself, Andrew Mather and Keol Lynch here to take you through finals day. But Keol, we've got to start with the thing that's a little bit different, even though it is the British summer, the temperatures, the conditions that the drivers are going to have to tackle here at this race meeting. Very different to what we're used to. Elevated temperatures leading into this one and a very grippy track.
You're right, absolutely scorching. We can see the rubber that has been laid down today already. It's going to be hot for the drivers. The drivers who've been out in Europe recently are possibly going to have the upper hand this weekend, but let's hear more about the circuit.
This is Kimbolton, our home for the weekend for the third rounds of the year for Rotax and KZ2. Nestled in the Cambridgeshire countryside, amongst the sun-kissed harvested farmland, a stone's throw from the village of Stowlonger, this is a classic British kart circuit. Racing has taken place upon this former airfield since the very first days of karting coming to this side of the Atlantic. Kimbolton has an even longer history from its days as a US Army Air Force base during the Second World War. Along the routes just short of 1 kilometre for both layouts used today, the corners are named after the heroes and places that hold significance to Hunt's Kart Racing Club, both past and present. Stow, the Willows, Derricks, Dan Weldon. Just some of the turns our drivers will need to master today. The summer marks the turning point of our championships. The run to British Kart Championship glory starts here. Speed and consistency from here onwards are the keys to success as the temperature warms further than the temperatures here at Kimbolton for event 5 of the British Kart Championships.
Thank you for that, Andrew. It's great to see the circuit as it stands today, but let's hear more about the history of the circuit. No one better to take us through it than Henry Baudet.
Kimbolton is one of British karting's gems. The Hunt's Kart Club has been in operation since 1959, the same year the very first kart meeting in the UK was held at RAF Lakenheath. And like Lakenheath, Kimbolton is a former RAF airbase used by the 379th US Air Force Bomber Command Group during the Second World War. And since that time, when the Hunt's Kart Club came into being, the Freeman family and many others who have formed Hunt's Kart Club and worked diligently over the years to preserve history. They have got their own mini museum with artefacts and wreckage and little trinkets from the Second World War, celebrating all those young men and women who served and, in the case of thousands here at Kimbolton, never returned home. Kimbolton, however, is also the site of one of the Second World War's most remarkable tales of heroism and survival, because on December the 20th, 1943, 21-year-old US pilot Charlie Brown and his 9 fellow crew members on B-17 Flying Fortress, nicknamed Ye Old Pub, set off for a bombing raid over Bremen. Now, the entire crew was aged under 25. Now, that is younger than most of our KZ2 grid here this weekend, just to give you some idea of the age of these young men and women who were forced to fight in the Second World War. Now, before they made it to Bremen, their plane was shot to pieces. 2 out of the 4 engines of Ye Old Pub were rendered useless, and the fuselage was absolutely shattered. The tail gunner was killed, but the 9 surviving members of that B-17 crew were able to struggle down to a level of about 1,000 feet and try and make it home, when out of the German sky came Franz Stigler, a Luftwaffe airman in his Messerschmitt Me-109. Stigler was already a celebrated pilot with over a dozen Allied airmen and Allied planes shot down and killed during the Second World War. But on that day, 5 days before Christmas, and looking at a crippled airline in front of him, Franz Stigler chose not to shoot them down. He felt there was no honour in shooting down a plane which, for all intents and purposes, the crew on it were already dead. So instead, he chose to guide them. He pulled up alongside Charlie Brown, signalled to the American airman, who himself was injured and being treated while still trying to fly the plane, and escorted them all the way to the English Channel, to what he hoped was safety. But why am I talking about something that happened on a December afternoon more than 80 years ago? Well, out of the milky blue winter skies, a crippled Boeing B-17 bomber managed somehow to land and get home. Home, those 9 surviving airmen were here at Kimbolton, and they landed right here, as in here, because this is the original runway of RAF Kimbolton. But just metres away from where the British Championship drivers will start their racing this weekend was a tale of heroism and honour that cannot be lost to history. British karting must embrace their old original heritage tracks like Kimbolton, like Rissington, like Shennington, not just for the memories of karters and drivers that are racing now or have raced in the past, but for people like Charlie Brown and Franz Stigler, who 60 years after that remarkable feat of heroism reunited and became best of friends until the day they both passed away in 2008. We're trying to unify karting. Well, that is a story that could unify not just karting, but us all.
Great work from Mr. Baudet there. You'll hear from him later on in the show as well. Let us know in the comments as well, what was the most interesting fact that you found out about that? And if you want more of this kind of stuff, let us know in the comments as well. Racing coming up very soon for finals day here at Kimbolton for Event 5. Plenty of action. We're into the middle part of the season now. This is where the championship campaigns really do get into their stride. And of course, competing in those championships are the drivers. Let's hear from some of them who showed us round this Kimbolton circuit.
We have arrived at Kimbolton for Event 5 of the Wera British Kart Championships, one of the most historic kart circuits on our calendar this year, setting the early trend of karting back in 1959. We've caught up with some of the familiar faces from the club rounds to talk you through a lap around this track.
Felix Tandy, welcome to the British Kart Championships. It's your first time here in the Rotax categories. We're at a circuit that you know well though, Kimbolton, and we're at turn 1. What's hard about turn 1?
I would say the braking is quite hard here at Kimbolton because it's quite easy to misjudge it and go straight into the barriers, so yeah.
Yeah, it's quite tight on the exit here, particularly at race starts as well. This is the first corner. How do you like to tackle race starts here at Kimbolton?
I think you need to get to the inside in some sort of way so you don't get shuffled out at the first chicane.
Absolutely, and that first chicane, of course, is up next.
I'm here with Minimax driver Will Eden on the exit of the first part of the Willows here. Will, talk us through the line you take in the mini-kart.
So through here, we'll be keeping it right on the white line, and then we're going to try and get the best exit out of here, just clipping the white line, try and get the best run up to the next corner.
The run out of here is definitely an important one. You can see to our left how big the curb is. How important is it to just hook around and not take too much of that curb?
Yeah, it's really important because if you get a bad exit out of here, you're going to have 4 or 5 carts that are going to get you into the next chicane.
Thank you very much, Will.
Thanks, Keel. We're here with Jensen Pugh at the entry to the Dan Weldon Corner Complex. Now, we're coming in with great speed into this part, particularly with the KZs, because you skipped the bus stop. This is a really tricky part of the circuit, isn't it, for the KZs?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the fastest part of the circuit. So obviously, when you're coming in here, you're probably about 90 mile an hour. So obviously, on a kart circuit, when you're this narrow, and it comes at you quite quickly. And it's quite a technical bit, really. It doesn't look it because you're coming off the end of a straight, but obviously you've got a bit of a kink coming into almost like onto the double right. So it's like 2 corners, but in one sort of swoop. So you have to almost do 2 lots of braking, really. When I come in down the straight, you like prepare for the first left, and you want to make it as like a straight as line as possible. So I'd come in and you down the 1 gear, and then you kind of roll more speed through, and then go as like a second go at the brake and down the next 2.
And coming out of this corner as well, it's a tight part of the course, and you're really preparing not for the next corner, but the corner after that, aren't you, in terms of your next overtaking zone? You've got to get this exit right.
Yeah, this exit's so important because the runoff itself, when you're getting on the power and it's uphill and slightly, you know what I mean, like slightly cambered. So it at first, it naturally kind of pulls you in, and you just want to get as close to this curb as possible. But as you go over, like, it's not like a crest of a hill, but it's a bit of a hill. As you go over, it tries to push you wide. I mean, obviously, naturally, as you're getting on the power, you're going to go wide anyway, but the runoff kind of falls away. So you you come round here, and if you get on the throttle too early, you kind of have to almost judge it before you get round the corner. Because if you pick the throttle up too early, you find yourself falling off the end of the runoff, and then you have a nasty slide and you lose like loads of time, especially in the KZ as well. If you you can't shift up the gear, obviously, because you'll bog afterwards, and you can't go down a gear, so you kind of have to just wait until you're back on the track to pick the traction up again.
That's some great insights, Jensen. I say a lot to do when you're going through that section of the circuit, and more challenges up the road ahead.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I'm now joined by junior Rotax driver John Richardson here at Kestrel Corner. The entry here looks quite narrow, but like you were saying, it's not quite as narrow as it looks once you're in the car, and we can see how, from the scorching weather, how much rubber has been laid out today.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a peripheral amount of rubber on this circuit, and it's all because of the Rotax categories. The amount of rubber that is dumped on this track cannot be counted, and this corner is extremely corner. It may be a small irrelevant corner to some people, but this corner can absolutely assist you with overtakes down into Kimbolton corner right in front of us.
Thank you very much, John. We hope to see you do well here tomorrow. Good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Well, those are the thoughts of our drivers here who know this Kimbolton circuit very well. It's going to be a hot one across all of our 6 classes in competition here this weekend. Let's see how they get on.
Thank you there from our familiar faces from here at Kimbolton. But another thank you to Wera Tools, a very important championship sponsor. This would not be possible without them. Let's hear a bit from them.
Welcome back to Kimbolton, event 5 of the Wera Tools British Kart Championships with you here, Andrew Mather and Keol Lynch. Now, it's a crucial point of the season. We're starting to find out who our championship contenders are. It's drivers needing to maintain form or maybe refine form as we get into the second half of the season. Many of the teams in the paddock around us have the role of the team manager at the forefront of making sure all the drivers are prepared and ready to go for racing here this weekend. So with that in mind, let's learn a little bit more about how our team managers work within the paddock.
Amongst this paddock, the teams must run really tight ships, managing everyone from drivers to mechanics, data engineers and coaches, as well as all the team personnel that works away from the circuit. Let's hear from none other than the team managers themselves. I'm here in the Sam Pollitt Racing awning speaking to Sam Pollitt himself. Sam, you're a former driver yourself. Talk to us about how you turned out to run a team like this.
Yeah, I used to race, and then a little lad who raced in cadets at the time asked me to coach him at the same time as racing, and then it sort of just transpired from there really, just grew from there. Had one driver and then sort of snowballed.
And we've seen over the years you're a long-standing team now. Over the last couple of years though, your team has seen a rather large expansion. You've got a lot of drivers coming through to your team. What has that been like, watching it expand?
Yeah, it's been really good, it's been exciting. We changed a few things over the years, like we changed engine builder to HRS, which then let us have a bit more control over the engine side of things, which I think helped. And then it's just grown from there, really.
And with that comes a lot more logistics, a lot more planning. Have you found any challenges with that?
Yeah, quite difficult. Like, for example, like this week we're here and then we go straight to France on Sunday night. So logistics is a bit of an issue, but we get through it.
And then unlike a lot of other sports, you've got a lot of diversity in the awning age-wise. You've got really young kids working with adults, obviously mechanics, driver coaches, all sorts. What is the dynamic like between the team?
Yeah, it's really good actually. Like, we try and have the tent so the juniors and seniors are in the same tent as the mini and the micros, which I think is quite good. The little ones look up to the older ones, and a lot of the minis that have moved to juniors, like Josh Cormack and Riley and people like that, actually go and help the younger ones because they were in minis last year, which is quite nice. So they all sort of help each other along.
Well, thank you very much for giving us some insight.
You're welcome, thank you.
Really nice to get the insight from Sam Pollitt there, and he is not the only former driver here this weekend that is now team manager. We have the likes of Jack Dex from Jack Dex Racing and Dan Holland and many, many more. But let's talk to a team that offer a rookie programme that takes the drivers right through the sport. Here in the R1 Racing awning with team manager Alfie Gallagher. Alfie, it's great to have you here with us this weekend once again with a lot of the E10 drivers. We've spoke about how you nurture a lot of the young talent through from their first ever time in a kart. What's it like managing the new drivers?
Honestly, it's amazing fun. No week is the same as the other. Obviously, we're starting these drivers from their first ever time in a kart, and our aim is to bring them up to the big stage here at the British Kart Championships. But it's amazing fun, bringing drivers from that first step in their motorsport career, and we obviously aim to bring them as far as they can. And keeping the enjoyment in it for them as well.
I know one thing the drivers tend to like about this team is there is a lot of them here in the E10 category, especially here with you this weekend. That gives them the opportunity to watch each other's footage. Like you said, they all learn at different paces, learn to work together on track. Do you think this helps develop them a lot quicker?
Yeah, 100%. We're really proud of the team. A lot of them have only took their ARCS test within the past month or two, and they've been thrown right in at the deep end at this big stage. But some of them have learnt very fast because of it. They've been thrown right in under a lot of pressure, but they've all took to it very well. But it's been really good to see all the drivers form good friendships together. They all help push each other along. Obviously, we focus a lot on the data analysis side of the racing to help focus on that improvement for them. And they've all been really good at helping each other. Oh, you're doing something different there. But it's always good to have multiple drivers come together to learn because it boosts it a lot.
That's right, they seem to be loving it together out there this weekend. And of course you give them then the opportunity to stick with you throughout the rest of their career, whether they want to go into junior and senior. Yeah. How is it watching them kind of develop through all the stages with you?
Yeah, so good. Like we first started Rookie Racing Training Academy, which is where they do take their first steps, around about 10 years ago now. So we see some guys that started with us years ago now up in cars, obviously in the senior classes. But yeah, we carry them right the way through, all the way from Bambino down at aged 5, and we run them up at seniors at any age. But yeah, it's really great to watch their progress. It's the best part about it. And obviously seeing them, most importantly, have fun and improving is great to see.
Thank you very much, Alfie. Best of luck for you all this weekend.
No worries.
Really good insight there from Alfie Gallagher from R1 Racing and how he nurtures the drivers up through the sport from their first ever time into the kart. Now let's take a full 360 and hear from a team manager with the KZ karts. I'm here in the Rush Performance awning, here to get some insight from team manager Brian Rush. Brian, thank you for having a quick chat with us. Let's talk about the KZ kart and what it's like as a team manager, because a lot of kart drivers here this weekend, of course, it's very different to the classes we have here today. They come to you for advice with this KZ kart. What would you suggest to a driver getting in it for the first time?
Personally, be calm and take your time, be patient. The kart is a different animal completely than the direct drive Rotax, Miami, etc. But it's still a go-kart. It still does the same thing, reacts the same. But it just the whole system, the whole concept of the gearbox, etc. Different front brakes on these instead of just rear brakes. So be patient. I say to most of them, think about it like taming a wild horse. It will buck you off if you misbehave with it. So take your time, go slower to start with. Don't expect to go fast. You go slower, then you build up your pace, and then suddenly you can go faster. It takes longer to train somebody that jumps on it and wants to go fast out of the box, because you've got to slow them down, get them to get into a rhythm. Rhythm's massive with the gearbox. That's the most fundamental thing really, is being calm and patient and slowing everything down to start with. You know, with a direct drive, you can tend to jump on a direct drive and go out of the box quite quickly, you know.
Yeah, that's right. And from your experience, there's a lot of drivers here. There's former champions like Gus Lawrence here this weekend. That is got his first weekend out in a KZ kart. What do you think are the really important traits when transitioning from the rest of the classes into the KZ?
Well, more like I said earlier, a moment ago, really, it is about being patient. You're right, the likes of Gus he's been involved in karting for a long time, and some drivers like that can transition from the Rotax or Miami, which he did, into this quite quickly because they're doing a lot of work in the karts. You know, he goes to Europe, a lot of America, whatever. So there are a few that can do that. So it's not completely no way it can't be done. So because he's proven he can, he's very fast. He always has been. But yeah, really, it is a case of the technical side is hard for there's some really good privateers, don't get me wrong, and we wouldn't be here without the privateers. We all start somewhere. I did, my son did, we all do, we need them. But understanding the technical side of it is where being with a team can help. Collaboration, the team works together, etc. Same in other classes, not just KZ, but it is difficult to come from one class to another. So Gus has done a really good job so far.
Absolutely. And touching on that technical side of things, you guys do a lot of product development within the KZ. How does that work around you guys trying to be competitive, especially in a championship like the British?
I joined forces with SRP Racing, Mike Seebeck, probably 7-8 years ago. Mike was concentrating on engine performance, tuning. He got where he wanted to with that. And he just moved over into the chassis area. I think then it becomes the whole package. So he's been transparent with me. He's always given me the best he can. So we stuck with him. So we had the Maranello chassis, which was very, very good. And we won the British Championship, as you know, on the Maranello chassis. It all went well. Mike decided to change over to the Formula K, and I didn't want to lose my connection with Mike, basically. So it was quite tough. Initially, we knew we had 12 months or so to help develop the car to suit our circuits. So it's difficult when you're dealing with people that are only in Europe on tracks that are fully rubbered up. But we stuck with him, and yeah, it's been a tough ride for now. But I think we've now got an understanding of the product, more spare parts, prototype parts that we're trying. Some work, some don't. It's the connection that it's been so good having that connection with us. We're like a small team of his, if you know what I mean. I can contact him anywhere, and he's there on the end of the phone.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. We've seen from previous experience, it's very important to have those connections and relationships with the people that you're working with. It's been good to see you guys building and working on this product throughout the year. You had Marcus Kayak over here testing out on the British circuit throughout the year. We know that helped you guys at the start of the year. And now the product won the European Championships.
Yes.
That must be setting the morale high for this weekend.
Fantastic, exactly that. The driver morale, drivers are drivers. They think they can drive as fast as everyone, but until someone comes along and shows them just how fast they can drive, that's when they do it. But no, all said and done, it was great. And this is the sort of thing I'd say. He sent Fabian over when we first started with the Maranello, and that's just a way of helping us, seeing what we've got on our tracks, how they differ from Europe, and helping us develop what we need for here. And yeah, so Marcus was a great example, and it was great, fantastic. We'd like to do it again. I think the factory and Marcus would come and do it again. Hopefully we'll see him. But their calendars, you can imagine how calendars are tied up. But yeah, European Championship, we won it. It's great, fantastic news, and it keeps them all happy.
Well, thank you very much for the insight, Brian, and we hope you guys have a brilliant weekend.
Thank you very much.
And there you have it. Brilliant to hear from some of the team managers here with us this weekend and what it takes behind the scenes to run a successful kart team.
Really interesting to hear from three very different team managers there within the paddock here this weekend. Let's get into some of our classes then. We're going to kick off with our little preview of Minimax. Let's hear from two of the up-and-coming drivers in this category, and as well, your latest winner of the Wera Tools Excellence Award.
I'm joined by Oscar Kenny, Minimax driver here in the Hunter Motorsport awning. Oscar, it's good to have you back with us once again. You sit 8th in the championship after rounds 1 and 2. What's your take on the start of this year?
Hopefully to try and get top 3 in the British. and yeah, just keep moving forward.
Exactly. We've seen you in the other half of our British Kart Championships. You did well in that one too, so we know your goals are high for this year. What do you think's most important for you to look at during the halfway point of the season?
Yeah, just like try and get some consistent finishes.
Yes, I think a lot of drivers have the same idea as you this weekend. But let's talk about a recent achievement for you. You recently, over in Genk, won your first ever ticket to the Rotax Grand Finals. Of course, the biggest Rotax event of the year over in Portimao later on. That must be amazing for you.
Yeah, it's the achievement I've been working so hard for all year.
Exactly. Some may say the weather is going to be similar how it was over at Genk when you won that ticket. Do you think that experience recently is going to be helping you?
Yeah, I think it will. You know, I'm quite small in a go-kart, so I think it'll help me quite a bit.
And Kimbolton so far, are you liking it?
Yeah, I think it's a really good circuit.
Thank you very much, Oscar. Good luck for the rest of this weekend.
Thank you.
Here with Logan Rolfe. Logan Rolfe, who we can now call a British Kart Championships round winner. Logan, how does that feel to hear those words after the great result at PF?
Oh, it just feels amazing to hear the words come out of your mouth and to the whole family. It said well done to me, and yeah, it just feels amazing to actually win a British round this year in the Wera Tools British.
And the response that everybody gave you on the podium as well, how did you feel when all those people were cheering you on when you took to P1?
No, I just felt amazing how everyone could look upon me and go, oh wow, I want to be like Logan Rolfe one day and see that.
Who have you got supporting you here this weekend?
Well, I've got my dad, my mum and my sister are coming up later, and I've got Rafe, one of my friends, 4 years old, travelled all the way down here, 4 hours I think, and yeah, he's here this weekend.
That's fantastic. The big talking point is how hot it is. How are you keeping cool out there on circuit?
I'm keeping cool by having a slushie, hence why my teeth are blue and my tongue is blue.
Brilliant stuff. Well, Logan, you're now a race winner. Now it's about doing that again and getting yourself up the order in the championship. Where do you think you could finish in the championship this year?
Probably top 3 for sure. We're aiming for P1, but sometimes we can't always have that. So top 3, hoping and trying to get to Portugal at the end of this year.
Really good. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Logan. Well done once again on the results at PF, and best of luck for this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Here in the race centre with the winner of the Wera Tools Excellence Award from Event 2 over at PF International. It is Tristram Oman, Austin Oman's father. Great to have you with us. Thank you for joining quickly. How excited are you to win all these tools?
Excited and unexpected, to be truthful. Other than you grabbing me in the pits a little while ago to let me know that this award's coming along, I was very surprised.
Bit of a background about yourself. You were once a driver. You were the first ever British driver to be on a Rotax Grand Finals podium, to which you then made it the first ever duo to be on the Rotax Grand Finals podium when Austin was on there in 2024. What's the dynamic like between the two of you? Complicated.
They reckon no football player that was worth his salt should ever become a manager, so it's a little bit like that. I spend an awful lot of time frustrated that he's not able to do the things that I know he can and that he should be doing. So it's, he probably has tougher than most little people in the paddock.
Do you think he looks up to you from your successes and wants to take that advice?
It depends on what hour of the day it is, but sometimes absolutely he's very receptive. But we've got a driver coach called Teddy Pritchard now, so he creates a little boundary between Austin and I, so we don't have to be at war all the time.
Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck to the both of you.
Thank you very much.
Well done to Tristan Oman, the latest winner of our Wera Tools Excellence Award. Remember, you can get your nominations in for this event as well for a particularly strong mechanic performance here in Cambridgeshire.
That's right. Let's look towards the youngest drivers here with us this weekend, Micromax. Sam Potter Racing off to a brilliant start with Albert Farrow, who we're going to hear from shortly. Also, Rio Pocock returns after his incident.
Albert Farrow, welcome to Kimbolton and congratulations. A great win last time out at PF International. Has that victory sunk in yet?
Yeah, definitely. It gave us a little lead in the British Championship, so we just need to be consistent this weekend and hopefully keep that lead.
As you say, you've been really, really consistent in competition so far this year. Likewise, your teammate Jayan Prakash has been really strong. How does that feel to have a teammate to help you in some ways, but also now you're starting to fight for the championship with?
I mean, it can help, like, as in PS, me and JM were pushing the whole thing, and that kind of helped me come away with the win there.
For you as the younger drivers, this must be a really hard weekend. It's not as hot today as it was when we were having the practice day, but how's that been as a challenge, this summer weather?
It's been hard, I guess, because you're wearing a suit, helmet, gloves, but you just need to stay hydrated and try and keep as cool as you can.
What's the aim for this weekend? Is it another win, or is it going to be more looking to the championship now and just making sure you're getting good points at every stage?
I mean, we're going for the win, but it'll be fine if we just get consistent points this weekend to keep us in the lead for the championship.
Fantastic. Albert, best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you
for your time, and we'll see you out there on track.
Thank you.
I'm here in the Origin awning with a face that it's good to see back here at the British Kart Championships, Rio Pocock. Rio, you had an unfortunate start to your year. You had a bit of an incident which made you miss round 2, but what have you had to do to prep to be back out here today?
So we just had to be getting back fit again, just really exercising. We've got our new gym in the garden, so then we've been on the kart sim as well, trying to get my legs stronger again. And it's meant to be 5 months we're out the kart, but it's actually been 3.5. So we've been doing really good about it.
That's good. It shows how much your hard work behind the scenes has been paying off. How excited are you to be back?
I'm really excited. This is my first British round back since Warden Law, and then it's really good.
And of course, unfortunate twist to your season, but back here at Kimbolton. This is your first time at Kimbolton. What are you making of the circuit so far?
Yeah, we've had a track walk this morning. I think it's a really good track. I've been driving it on my sim recently. It's really good. It's not technical, really a bit twisty through some sectors. And then it looks quite fast as well.
And what's the aim for this weekend? Are you going to ease yourself back in, or are we going straight for the silverware?
We're going straight for the silver.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good to hear there from our Micro Max drivers. Really good to see Rio Pocock back. I was not expecting that at this stage of the season. Hope he does well here this weekend. We're going to take another short break. We're going to hear from Demon Tweaks. We'll see you on the other side.
Here at Demon Tweaks, you probably know us for our massive cartwear range. We've got everything from suits, boots, gloves and helmets from the biggest brands in the business. But we are so much more than that, because if you're looking for kart parts, well, we've got you covered too. We've got everything from Rotax parts, sprockets and chains, discs and pads, data loggers and dashers, fuel tanks, steering wheels, bead breakers and loads more. But of course, it doesn't just stop at the track, and if you're looking to build your skills in the sim, then we've got everything you're going to need to build the ultimate rig. So whether you're just getting started or you're already at the top of your game, Demon Tweaks has got you.
Another big thank you to one of our championship sponsors, Demon Tweaks. It's always good to hear from them. None of this would be possible without them. Let's talk electric. Let's talk the E10 cadet karts. Let's hear from some of the drivers here with us this weekend. I'm here catching a word with one of the E10 drivers, Zach Andrew. Zach, we've seen you in the British Kart Championships before, but not quite in the E10 category. What made you decide to move into E10?
I got an invitation from Rookie, and I thought, yeah, might as well do it, and yeah, this is what got me into it, and I'm quite enjoying it actually.
And this is your first weekend getting used to the new car. How have you found it? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's actually quite fun. You got like obviously new boost button and everything, and it's quite fun, you know, like it adds a little bit more strategy to the mix.
Yeah, that's right, and you've got plenty of experienced teammates that I'm sure can be giving you advice on that. What challenges have you found so far with Kimbolton? This is a sort of local track for you. You're not too far, so are you experienced?
Well, I find it quite hard at the top there, but that doesn't mean that I won't stop trying. Hopefully we can end up getting top 3 and hopefully a P1.
Well, we hope to see that for you. And just before we go, you have usually your dad on the mechanic on the tools for you. You today have your granddad. How nice is that to be able to have them helping you throughout the years?
I mean, it's quite nice having a family member to help, and
It's always nice having Grandad around. And Dad is obviously quite experienced and he helps a lot. So, yeah, it's quite nice having someone that I know working on the kart.
Does he give you any advice before you head out each session?
No.
Stick to no advice. Thank you very much for chatting, Zach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Here with Heath Smith in the RCE tent. Heath, welcome to Kimbolton. How have you found practice so far?
It's been really good. I have came third place, and I wasn't here yesterday, but in the last session I came third, and it's been really good.
That's a really good start. What do you like about the E10? You're in the electric kart this weekend.
I like a lot about the boost button and the reverse.
And it's a lot of fun,
Yeah,
isn't it,
it's
driving
a lot
these
of
karts?
fun driving it.
And what about the kart on this circuit as well? It's very different kind of circuit
It's
to PF.
very short and not that much straight, and it's more turns. It's very fun though, very quick.
Well, that's what we want to hear. Best of luck for this weekend, Heath. We'll see you out there on track. Good to hear there from the E10 drivers. Good to see some new faces on the E10 grid from PF International. Racing coming very soon. If you've just joined us for the build-up show, part of the finals day coverage here at Kimbolton. Really looking forward to what we're going to be seeing here today.
That's correct. Speaking of racing, what does a good lap look like around this circuit? Let's hear from Mikey Walker.
We're here in the race centre. It's a very warm day for us here at Kimbolton. Mikey, you've stepped in from practice earlier on this morning in the Jack's Motorsport kart. Talk us through some of the details here at Kimbolton. It's your classic kind of British circuit. It used to be an airfield and all of that, but it's got its own character, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a great circuit. Obviously, you've got turn one here. Got to go in late and hard, keep it smooth, and then into the willows. It's a tricky corner because there's 3 parts to it. Got to carry as much speed as you can while also staying smooth with the wheel.
And I imagine these curbs are quite key as well, where you want to touch them, don't you? But you don't want to take too much of those curbs because you've got to carry the speed.
Yeah, you want to turn in late for the first part so you can get yourself more over to the right for the left, but not too much curb or else it's going to throw you over and mess you up for the left. And then also through this left, you've got to try and avoid that curb and also the speed bump on the exit. And then, yeah, down into Derek's great overtaking place. Got to go in late and hard, turning in late so you can sometimes nibble the exit, the last bit of the curb on the left so you can set yourself up for the right. And then through this right, there's a bump in the track, which you also got to try your best to avoid. And then, yeah, down into Dan Weldon, you sort of got to throw it in there and just hope that the back of the cart doesn't want to slide or bounce, keeping it strong with the wheel.
It's quite narrow through this part of the course as well. Coming into Kimbolton Corner, you've got to be I imagine you've got to be very precise with your overtaking around here, particularly in the seniors where you've got that wider cart to deal with.
Yeah, and it's just like also trying to set yourself up for overtakes because it can be quite hard because of how narrow it is. But yeah, like through this left, when you're behind someone, you're just trying to carry as much speed as you can, throw it down the inside, late and hard on the brakes. Yeah, that's your lap done.
And I remember here last year we saw some really close finishes between a couple of our drivers. Freddie Lloyd taking a very narrow victory. Even that run out of the final corner is so crucial because you can win with really small margins around here.
Yeah, exactly. That's like every corner here you got to try to get it right. It sets you up for the next corner, which is good for overtaking, and like you said, with close finishes.
We'll let you go, Mikey. It's a warm day for us all here in the race centre, but best of luck for the weekend. Mikey Walker there from Jack's Motorsport.
Thank you for that, Andrew. It's always so good to see the insight of an onboard lap from drivers here this weekend.
Is indeed. Let's talk junior Rotax for the first time here today. This could be race of the day. Charlie Wolfett comes in unbeaten so far this season, but a couple of other names are going to be snapping at his heels at least here this weekend. Let's hear from Finley Lines and a returning Emerson McAndrew-Wren. Emerson McAndrew-Wren, welcome back to the British Kart Championships paddock. It's been a while since we saw you back in that championship-winning Minimax season, but you've been a busy driver racing out in Europe, particularly in the FIA Championships. How's it been so far this year?
Yeah, it's been really good so far. I think we've had some decent results in that category, and coming back to this class has been decent as well with some really good drives.
I say you've been keeping your hand in the Rotax business as well with more racing out in Europe, but coming back into this weekend, are you almost at a bit of an advantage with the heat and the temperatures, because it feels quite Euro here this weekend?
Yeah, normally it's really hot in Europe, so I think maybe that could be in my advantage, but I think either way it's going to be a really tough weekend.
The other thing is, you're a name. Coming up into this junior class now, everybody knows your record, 2-time British champion. You can't win a championship in this championship this year because of how the scores are working. How do you deal with the mental pressures of that?
I just focus on myself, not on anyone else, and try and just do the best I can.
What's the aim for the weekend? Is a podium possible this weekend? Is your first British in the juniors?
I think I'm going to go try and win because the pace has been really good so far. So obviously I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see what comes.
Well, Emerson, it's great to have you back. Great to have you here in the paddock. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We're here to have a catch-up with Finley Lyons. Finley, we've recently seen you in the other half of the British Kart Championships. It's good to have you back, though. You've had a bit of a delayed start to your weekend so far. Why is that?
Well, I was on a school trip in Germany for a week. So, yeah, not ideal.
You're back for practice this morning, but let's cast our minds back to PF. Going into that final at PF, you and Charlie Wolfett were both unbeaten. Difficult one for you. You're still in the championship points, though. What's the overall goal for the rest of this season as we reach kind of the halfway point?
Well, obviously, we still scored really good points at PF. I think we've just got to keep going at it, keep doing the results, and hopefully it'll come to us.
And with that being said, you've joined forces with KR Sport this season. What's that been like? How are they able to help you?
It's been mega. Everyone's so supported, and the package is brilliant, so I can't complain, really.
And you're one of the drivers who has raced a lot of classes, raced a lot of karts. What is it in particular that you like about the Rotax?
I think I like the Rotax more because it gets more entries. It's always more. I like it when there's more people on the grid. It makes it more exciting, and it's just a better kart to drive.
Thank you very much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We're back in the DHR tent with Charlie Wolfett. Now, Charlie, we spoke to you at Warden Law. I think you're one of the first people to have 2 appearances on the build-up show so far this year, but with good reason, because you are our driver of the day, voted for by the public. And how do you feel about that? That was for your results at PFI.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. We've had a good start to the season, so I mean, just to top that off as well, it's really good.
But it's getting serious now, isn't it? This championship run going for the junior Rotax title. This is where it's going to get difficult now, this second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's already starting to get difficult, but we just got to keep getting the results we can, keep getting as best we can, and keep scoring big.
Well, brilliant stuff. Well, I'll bring Kiel in to award the trophy for the Wera Tools Driver of the Day. It's quite the trophy. How do you feel about it, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'd just like to thank everyone that voted for me, and yeah, it's really good, and keep pushing.
Well, congratulations. Charlie Wolfett there, your Driver of the Day from PF International.
Charlie Wolfett for Driver of the Day. Very deserving. There was no one as dominant as him yet so far in Junior Rotax. Although, one thing to note, traditionally we do see tall drivers struggle around here in the heat, and so far it's been scorching weather. So are we going to see someone take the win off him?
Could well see that this weekend, but he is in good form. We'll take another short break here from Kart Sim and once again see you on the other side.
Wera, what a start from the start, heading up into the top section.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kimbolton. We're counting down the minutes before the start of racing here today for event 5 of the British Kart Championships. Let's talk senior Rotax. The last time the Rotax categories were here for a British round, we had a very dramatic final in senior Rotax. Before we get into the racing here today, though, let's hear from a couple of the drivers, Jack West and Lorenzo Cordell.
I'm here in the Strawberry Racing awning with returning senior Rotax driver Jack West. Jack, it's good to have you back with us. We've not heard from you yet on a build-up show this year. How's the start to your season gone?
It's gone really good so far, you know, ups and downs as you do. Hopefully, you know, we can start getting some more good results in like we did last week.
Well, of course, you were that last seed going off of last year, so we know your goals were high. You have made a change to teams. Last time we've seen you, you were with MLC. You've now made the move to Strawberry. How's the transition gone?
It's gone really good so far. Last week was my first ever week with Strawberry, so You know, really good result. I had a top 5 all weekend. So, yeah, the move's gone really good, I'd say.
Has that changed the goals going into this weekend?
It definitely has. I want to hope to push for a top 5 now and, get some really good points on the board to move back up the championship ladder.
Well, best of luck with that. Good luck for the rest of this weekend.
Thank you.
Lorenzo Cordell, welcome back to the British Kart Championships. You've had an up and down season so far. There's been some really good heats, some good pace going into finals, but it's not quite happened yet so far this year for you. Is this the weekend where we're going to see you up in the top 10 come the end of the weekend, do you think?
Yeah, hopefully it would be nice to get some good points this weekend and finish the weekend well, as our weekends this year have gone quite well, and then got to the final and something's happened and we haven't quite ended up where we would have liked, but hopefully this weekend that changes.
You're one of the most experienced drivers in this paddock. I think I even remember back to watching your cadet days. What is it about karting that keeps you coming back and back over these years? Because it's such a great sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good. It's just, can't stay away. I love it. It's so fun. It's good to get out racing. I don't race as much as I used to, but I like to when I can. And competing in the British is the highest level. Definitely in the UK.
Absolutely. I say you've not been in the kart since PF. How have you been keeping yourself race ready, as it were, particularly on a weekend like this with this heat and the physical nature of this track?
Well, obviously I'm not able to do the laps, so I have to try and stay fit, do running, do weights, just making sure I'm race fit and get to the weekend and see how it goes.
And the Zip team has been a family that you've been part of for a good while now. How are they to compete with?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice working with Zip, but it would just be nice to get them a bit closer to the front where I think they deserve to be.
Definitely. Lorenzo, best of luck for this weekend, and
Thank you.
We'll see you out there on track.
Thank you.
Always good to hear from our senior Rotax drivers. Let's talk KZ now. Back with us after event 1. They have had a round, though, that counted towards their championship in the meantime at Shennington. Let's take a look at the highlights from that and a very familiar face joining us here this weekend. I'm here catching up with multiple British champion Charlie Turner. Charlie, it's good to see you again. You guys have had a round in between last time we saw you at Warden Law. Talk us through how Shennington went for you.
Well, Warden Law obviously was a very good start to the season. We won the first round, but Shennington was going really well. Scored some solid points, been in the top 3 consistently in practice and for the heats and for the pre-final. But in the final, the weather was a bit changeable. We thought it was going to rain, but as a team we decided to make a call on set-up for the new tyres, and it looked like it was paying off. Me and my teammate James Gillespie running top 3. And unfortunately, with I think it was about 6-7 minutes to go, both our tyres fell off a cliff. We both finished 4th and 5th, which is still not bad, but obviously can be better. But as a team, we made a decision on setup. Obviously, we learned for this weekend.
Absolutely. A consistent one for you looking towards the championship, of course. But let's talk about this product in the European Championships. Recently won that. You were, of course, one of the drivers working on that with the team. How great is it to see it doing well elsewhere too?
Well, again, it's fantastic to see them win. Obviously, that's all of us. We didn't really expect to see. I don't think they expected either, but as a team, they've worked really, really hard trying different chassis out there, and they had nothing to lose. I think they went to the championship 5th, and obviously they cleaned up, won all the races, and they won the championship. So it's fantastic for them, and it's going to look good for us as well.
And it looks like we're possibly going to see some similarities this weekend in the weather. It's a scorching one so far. How are you doing in the heat?
Like everyone else, we just got to keep cool and drink loads of water. That's the most important thing. But I think that, like you said, the heat's going to be a big factor for everyone. But we'll see how our kart's going to work this weekend. So fingers crossed, hope it should be all good.
And a little fun fact for the viewers who may not know, you won the title here, the KZ title here in 2022. Unfortunately, you couldn't quite celebrate due to the tragic death of Her Majesty. If you win this weekend, will you be celebrating for both?
I haven't really thought that far ahead yet, but yeah, obviously that weekend, that was a special weekend for us. We won it, and because I've won 2 British championships, I think the celebration idea, I remember it was sort of doing that piece sort of thing. But hopefully we see it's close competition this weekend, but yeah, as a team, hope we'll go and win this weekend.
Absolutely. Good luck, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
Gus Lawrence, welcome back to the British Kart Championships. We've not actually seen you since the Super Nats win, in the paddock at least. So tell us a little bit about that and how that's changed things for you in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, so I stopped racing with Paul Fletcher. I had an amazing career there of 6 or 7 years. Won the British Championship 3 times in the Senior X30. And then this year I've been racing in America with Rollison Performance in the Scusa. So just a different scene, really, different tracks, different environment. So it makes a change, but thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I thought I'd have a crack at the KZ2. So with a good friend of ours, Josh and Vince, definitely looked after us in getting the equipment right. And I've done a little bit of practice before this race in preparation. So yeah, see how we go this weekend.
I say it's one of the big stories this weekend that not only you're back, but you're in with the KZ2s this weekend. For the uninitiated, what have you had to learn? Have you had to drive differently to the X30 that you previously raced?
Well, it's about 20 more horsepower more than anything else with front brakes and 6 gears. So it's a different art form. You have to learn the braking with the front brakes and when to give it full power through some of the corners, because you have too much power in some places, so you have to be quite gentle with it. But very different driving style, and it's taken a few weeks to get the hang of it. So, but we'll see. I don't think the actual driving round I've got that. I feel quite confident there, but it's just the starts. The standing start is very different from any form of karting, so it's definitely a new thing to learn there.
What's the aim for this weekend and any future KZ races that you're doing? You've got a very strong teammate in Josh, a former British champion in KZ2 himself. What's the realistic aim for this weekend?
It's great to learn off Josh and Vince, so they've really helped us out massively. I would love to try and get a podium, really. Like we've topped top 2 or 3 every practice session so far, really. So we've been fast. So just need to learn the starts and learn the racecraft. I'd be over the moon if I could come over podium. Obviously, that's a high expectation, but yeah, we'll see. See how it plays out over the heats.
And is this going to be a one-off, or are we potentially going to see more from you in the KZs? We've got a couple of big races coming up at Silverstone later in the year. Now you've been testing there.
No, I'm really interested in racing at Silverstone. The track's unbelievable, and I feel like it's one of the there's not many tracks which are the right size for something this fast, and the nature of all the corners being quite open, you can overtake everywhere. That's quite difficult in this class. Here, there's only maybe 2 or 3 overtaking spots, whereas I believe at Silverstone you can overtake on maybe 80% of the corners. So it's I'm really excited for that later on this year. Hopefully the weather's still nice and warm by then, and yeah, I'm interested in that.
I hope so indeed. Gus, thanks for your time. Great to have you back. Good luck this weekend. The second KZ2 round of this year's championship took place at a sunny Shennington in May. Noah Wolf was looking to bounce back after a tough end to round 1, and despite an early attack from Jake Weston, took the lead early in the final. James Glenister was back and led the battle for second ahead of teammate Charlie Turner and the in-form Weston. The progress from both the Formula K Rush Performance team and the CRGs of Moore Racing provided an entertaining battle for the podium positions. Weston working his way past Turner into third, while Miles Murphy had recovered from difficulties earlier in the day and back into the top 6. Josh Price, running the Kart Republic, worked his way efficiently back up to second place through the middle and latter stages of the race. The former British KZ2 champion showing his class on his way to a first podium of the season. But there would be no stopping Wolf. A dominant victory at Shennington to reclaim the standings lead heading into round 3.
Gus Lawrence, this is his first time racing in KZ in the British. How is he going to play out against this field of drivers?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? 3-time senior X30 champion. He's had a lot of testing. He's had a good amount of running coming into this race. It really is one of the big topics here this weekend, and it's great to just have him back in the paddock. That's enough talk, though. Let's get into the racing here at Kimbolton. Absolutely anything could happen here this afternoon. This could be a really pivotal day in the championship stories for 2026. Let's go racing here at Kimbolton for Event 5 of the Wera Tools British Kart Championships.